Let's start the recording. Dun dun dun. It is a recording. All right.
My screen looks kind of naked without the YouTube there.
Yes, well, computer will run faster too because you don't have 2,000 things going on at one time. All right.
This is very true.
Let's get this show on the road. It's time for a show. We will edit right here. But the YouTube people get all that little piece of pre-stream crap because I can't be bothered to edit the video.
Fair enough.
Off we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WordPress plugins A to Z, not Z.
Top WordPress plugins for Christmas. It's episode 542, and we have plugins for Christmas clock. Blah, 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 blah. Brain went sideways. It's like, did I start the recording on here? It's like, yep, I did. So we're going to start that all over again. Boy, the YouTube people get a bonus insert today.
Yeah, they do.
Those of you on YouTube, that was a false start. Trip, jumped again. All right, one more time. Let's do this again. Let's get this show on the road.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WordPress plugins A to Z, not Z.
Top WordPress plugins for Christmas. It's episode 542, and we have plugins for Christmas Clock, Christmas Facts, White Christmas, Verifying Email, Spicy Postings, Wicked Building, and Classic Press Options, all coming up on WordPress plugins from A to Z. WordPress. It's the most popular content management and website solution on the internet. And with over 80,000 plugins to choose from, how do you separate the junk from the gem? Join us for a weekly, unrehearsed conversation about the latest and greatest in WordPress plugins. This is WordPress plugins from A to Z. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be hiding out there on the globe today. Coming to you direct from the brewery overlook in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. I'm John Overall, and with me is the ever lovely
Amber overall.
And we have the usual great show for you today, of course. Right off the top, couple quick things. It was the night before Christmas, and all through the web. Not a developer was doing anything but preparing to drink rum and enjoy Christmas Eve the following day. Yeah, I'm working on it, folks. It's just not coming together. Anyway, Merry Christmas to everyone. Hope you enjoy the time you have with your families this year. Get out there and do something. Just go have Christmas dinner and enjoy life, and don't worry about all of the other crap that is dragging people down. It is the season for lots of fun. This is a value for value show, folks. Don't forget that. If you like the value you're getting out of this show, which you must, people are downloading this show. I'm assuming they're listening more than 5 minutes of it. Come on, kick us some value. Get in the Christmas spirit. Go donate to the show. Before we get too far down the line, this is where the spot where I say that we'll cut off the Q&A segment for everyone in Christmas spirit. The full Q&A segment is going to be for everybody, even those of you listening to the podcast itself. So,
Oh, good.
well, it's easier for me. Less editing to do, because after all, this is a pre-recorded show. We're coming to you from the future. Literally coming to you from the future on this one here.
From the future or from the past?
Well, from the future. We're doing this to the future. Well, I guess we're coming from the past. When they hear the show, it's in the past. But
Yeah.
we're doing it in the future.
Okay.
Because, it's not actually the night before Christmas. It's not the 23rd December right now. It's another day, which is to be unnamed. It's an unnamed day. All right. With all of that, I think it's time for me.
Thank you for sharing, John. Now get down from that soapbox.
This is number 51 of 52 episodes for 2021. It's a pre-recorded show, as my dad already mentioned. And so I have no idea what the weather will be like. We have a calling for snow for around Christmas here. And, if there is snow out there, I think everybody should take the time to go make a snow angel because they're just a lot of fun. Hopefully it's not too crazy with snow /rain / whatever weather you get this time of year in your area. And, you know, I'm actually kind of looking forward to the snow this year because it's the first time in 6 years I don't have to shovel the drive. This will be awesome.
Yeah.
I hope everyone makes a point to put down work, put down electronics, put down the media, and spend some good quality time with your family and friends.
Well, with that
Rinse and repeat as often as needed.
absolutely. But with those two comments there, one is something about not shoveling snow. You'll be at your grandma's. It snows there. We'll make you shovel the driveway just so you can remember what it's like.
Oh, but I only have to do it for what, 2 days?
Yeah.
It's nothing. Nothing compared to the entire winter. I have no problem with doing it once in a while. That's fine. Good workout. But every day drives me nuts.
Alrighty, let's move it along then and go to the news.
Please, can everybody be quiet? Please be quiet. Shut up! Thank you. And now the WordPress news with John Overall.
What, Amber?
So, I've gotten in the habit of always bringing the vulnerability report from iThemes, but since it hasn't come out yet, I've just gone ahead and put a link here for part 4. This is the page where part 4 will show up for everyone if they need to go and check it out. Right now, if you just scroll down a tiny bit, you can see there's part 3. So part 4 should be showing up later this week.
Absolutely.
Just that people can keep up on it. Next one I have is Google Drive could soon be locking your files. This is something important if you are storing anything for your site in Google Drive, any information that you might need to do your job or anything like that. You might want to think about either getting it out of there or at least making sure you have physical copies, because they have updated their policies and they have announced that they are going to restrict access and block the owners from accessing these files that they deem to be in violation of the company's new policies. I could see how it could be a very good thing, but as everyone who's experienced things like this before knows, whenever there are new restrictions put in place, innocent bystanders will experience the worst of the backlash at times. So make sure you at least have a copy of everything you have stored in there. Make sure you have a physical copy.
Don't trust your data to anyone else.
Yeah.
Is the takeaway here. Never trust your data. I don't even trust my data to Dropbox, which is what I use. I have it backed up everywhere, so that if they decide to get snippy about whatever I happen to have on my data, that I never lose my data. So
Yeah.
and if you don't like that, well, get your own website and your own web hosting service, and then you can put your files there and have them accessed anywhere. I mean, it's no different than accessing it through the cloud. All they've done is integrate it into your computer for you. Which you can actually do through, I think, through my services, johnoverall.com, there's a setup in cPanel where you can have a web drive.
Oh, that's cool.
I've just never used it because I've never gotten around to using it, because I started using, before it was introduced and available, I was using Dropbox. I've been using Dropbox since they were a brand new company.
Yeah, they've been pretty good so far.
They've been really good. They don't seem to be, they stay out of the limelight as far as the political shit goes.
Which is smart.
Which is very smart, and I like them for that.
Let's see. This next one I thought was just kind of cool. WordPress actually gives a nod to the No Nonsense plugin. I just thought it was really cool because, you know, I covered it last week. They essentially say the same thing I said, which is it's a pretty cool plugin, very useful. But they do go a little deeper into it, talking about their code and talking about, they really go in depth in this article. So definitely worth checking this out.
Cool.
I just wanted to share it because it's cool.
Nice.
Next up is Free Software Foundation adds a code of ethics for board members.
Oh, goody. What are they going to try and tell them they have to live their lives now?
Well, the Free Software Foundation, otherwise known as FSF, they have implemented this code of ethics in order to guide members into making a more transparent, accountable, ethical, and responsible governance.
Okay. What's all that double think mean?
There's a lot that they're talking about here, and I just want people to be aware that this is going on. This is something that will trickle down the ladder, and it could be good, could be bad. We shall have to wait and see.
Yes. No, it's going to be nothing but bad, I'm sure. Every time,
it could be good. You never know.
And not when they all go woke. It's
Oh, I'm
rare.
disgustingly optimistic. You
Yeah.
never know. It could go well.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. All right.
Next up is Justin Tadlock with WordPress Tavern talks about a block-based version of the Kubrick WordPress theme. So I actually haven't heard of Kubrick before.
That's because you haven't been around WordPress long enough.
Okay.
This used to be the only theme that came with WordPress. It was the default
Really?
theme, and that's what everyone had for years and years until they started introducing their new themes every year. It's about 7 years or so, 6 or 7 years ago, they started introducing a new theme every year. But previous to that, all there was Kubrick.
Okay. Well, apparently Kubrick does have a block base.
Somebody got bored. some developer was bored one night and said, you know what, I think Kubrick should be block based, and they sat there, got stoned, and just cranked out the code.
Well, it exists because apparently that is a commonly asked question. So.
Yes. Well, there you go. For those that love Kubrick, now you got a block based version for Gutenberg.
Next up is State of the Word 2021. WordPress passes 43% market share, looks to expand the commons through Openverse. This article is a great look into what's going on in the market world around WordPress right now. Very exciting for the right person.
Yeah, I didn't watch it this year. I've watched it in years past, but this year I just couldn't pull myself to sit down and watch the State of the Word from Matt, our illustrious overlord.
You know, it's been a busy year for us.
Yes, it has.
And the last one I have here is how to stop the tracking while using Google. So this may not necessarily be linked to WordPress, but it is definitely something you might want to take the time to have a peek at. It's always nice to know that you can actually stop the tracking to an extent
You can't
while
stop
doing
it.
your work.
You can't stop it. All you can do is limit it. As long as you're connected to the web, all you can do is limit it.
Yeah, well, limiting is better than nothing.
If you want to stop it, the only way to stop the tracking is to stop using the internet, take your smartphone, stick it inside a Faraday cage, and walk away from it.
True.
That's it's the only way you can stop the tracking. It's too late. It's too late, man. We've done gave it over now.
Yeah, we really did.
All right.
There is one thing in the extra news I wanted to go through real quick because it's about the holidays, and during the family dinners there may be some awkward table conversation popping up, and TNW, they have a awesome article which they labeled "We Wish You a Merry Destroy All Humans." I just thought that was a cool name. Now they have a few things that you can cover instead of the awkward conversations, like separate, unrelated studies is actually about stopping time using quantum algorithms.
Cool.
And spaghettification at the edge of a black hole. I thought that was really cool. And then another article about flat earthers and AI. Why flat earthers are detrimental to AI.
Oh, what if flat earthers is just a conspiracy theory to hide the hollow Earth?
Could be. That is definitely something we should cover on another show.
There you go. All right. Well, that's a whole lot of news, some interesting stuff, some stuff to check out when you're sitting down Christmas Eve listening to this show. And let's wander off over and talk about those that support the show.
It's time to donate to WP Plugins A to Z.
This is the part where we like to acknowledge those who have supplied us with their time, talent, or treasure to support the show. And we like to start off by talking a bit about the graphics and the art that we have here. And the art, we change our artwork every single week. And that artwork has been coming from artists for well over a year and a half now, with the last few months mostly coming from one artist. And that artist is Greg's Graphics, and he has been doing a great job of providing us with the artwork. And today, we've got the art from Greg's Graphics, as soon as I can get it loaded up here. And it is a nice little cool Merry Christmas tree. all
Oh, that's
decorated
awesome. I
out.
love it.
Yeah, he gave us 3 of them, to choose from, and this one here was kind of the one that stuck out the best for me. It's got a really cool red ball with the WP logo on it, the WP plugins logo, the WordPress logo on another gold ball, and then I like what he's done with it. It's really kind of cool, nice work. It looks really well done, and it's a nice Christmassy kind of feel to it. Merry Christmas, everybody. So thanks a lot.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot to Greg's Graphics for providing us with the art once again. If you'd like to provide us with the art and have your art chosen for a show, just simply go to wpplugins.com/artwork to submit your artwork to the show. We'd be happy to have more artists to choose from and to keep poor old Greg from burning out on us. We really don't want him to burn out. So. Thanks again, and yes, we change this artwork every single week. We have different artwork, and I've been doing that for 3 years now.
It's a lot of fun choosing out the artwork too.
Yes, especially when I have several pieces to choose from. That makes it even more fun, because then I got to go, well, I don't quite like this one for that. I'm not quite up to the snuff of full-on art critique, but once I have enough artists and I get a little more involved in it, then I'll get to more critiquing. Now it's this one looks good. I like that one.
And it doesn't have to be like, a picture or something. It can be like a hand-drawn cartoon. We just need a logo on there.
Mm-hmm.
It can be anything.
And you can
just throw in the
download
logo.
you can download the logos on the website. Download them in Illustrator formats. You can do whatever you want with them. Just make them so they stay pretty much the same style. You can change the colors. Have fun with them. Greg's done some really amazing things with the logos, but he's kept the styles intact. He's moved things around. Like I remember he moved the microphone around on the WP one. That was one time. It was kind of interesting because it's all layered in Illustrator, so you can have all kinds of fun with it. All right.
We encourage this.
We encourage this. Encourage people to play and have fun and be artists. Artists are always kind of a bizarre set of people to begin with.
Yeah, most of our family are artists. We get along well.
Yeah. All right. We also like to talk about those who supply us with time for the show. And we've got a couple of folks supplying us with time, helping the show out, such as Jess, who's helping us get the photo galleries all organized up for all our past artwork. And then we got Charlie, who helps us out with contests. So we'll have some great stuff in the new year. We still have other small projects in and around the website that need done. Or hey, if you want to get busy and help us with our social media promotions, we'll take that too. Anything that you can do to help promote the show out there for folks. And then finally, those who support us with their treasure. And that treasure can be as small as you like or as much as you like. And we do have an executive producer credit available to anyone who donates $50 or more. And they get a note read out in the show. Eventually, we'll be reading out notes again. But we just still have a few people out there, a few small subscriptions, $5 here, $10 there, that come in on a monthly or weekly basis. So thank you very much to those of you that donate those small amounts. They are greatly appreciated, and they do help the show. They don't put any money in our pockets, but every little bit helps us feel better about doing the show. Okay, I think it's time we dive into the depths of plugin depravity, what everyone is here for. All right. First ones I've got this week. Okay, it's Classic Press. We don't have anything new for Classic Press this week. We do have a couple of things from last week in the show notes on Classic Press. You might want to go have a check out on those. And if anyone out there listening uses Classic Press, hey, provide us some more info. We'll be happy to get it into the show. All right, first plugin I've got for you this week is called the Christmas Countdown Clock. Just a simple countdown clock that you can put on your website to count down the days for Christmas. For those of you that get really excited about it, you can put it there right after Christmas Day and start counting down to the next year, or like most of us that put it up like a week or 2 weeks or even a month before to count down. It's really cool, simple, straightforward. They give you a couple of different styles and layouts you can use in it. Put a family photo, a Christmas tree in there, Christmas bazaar, all kinds of really cool bits and pieces in it. Pretty much just a straightforward countdown clock. No super bells or whistles, but does a really great job. And I give it a 5 Dragon rating. Check it out, the Christmas Countdown Clock.
And the first one I have, which I totally spaced on bringing anything Christmassy because I'm like that. The first one I brought is email verification. This is a newer plugin, and it's designed to help keep all those fake emails away when you're trying to get the real people out there to sign up to your subscriptions. It is a third-party one. It's a third-party service, and you do need to sign up in order to get this going. Free version is only worth 250 credits, which means that after verifying 250 emails for you, you'll need to buy a package. There are credit packages where you pay a fee for each email verified, or there are monitor packages where they charge a monthly fee with a 50K email limit. Now, at first I thought this was really kind of a not great way to do it, but when I really looked into it, it could save you a lot of time, a lot of frustration, and it actually has some pretty decent prices for the packages.
Nice.
The settings on here are pretty decent, and they're easy to use. Seems to work pretty well, and it's compatible with WordPress's default registration and comment forms, WooCommerce's registration checkout form, Gravity Forms, Contact Form 7, Ninja Forms, and Jetpack Forms. So it's actually pretty decent. Like I said, at first I thought that was just a terrible idea, but I really do recommend people go and check this out. If this is something that is really an issue for you, this might be a great way to deal with it.
Anyone? Go ahead. Keep going.
Oh, I was just going to say, I rate it at 4 dragons.
Okay.
Because,
Cool. Anyone who runs a WooCommerce store knows this would be worthwhile. I have set up so many things to eliminate the spammers in WooCommerce who are using throwaway email addresses to register on the site and clog your site with pointless registrations. And if this can stop that and you have a store that's making you money, this would be worth every penny in it.
Yeah.
So. All right, the next one I have for you is called Random Christmas Fact Widget. I thought this one was kind of interesting. It kicks out something, spits out a random Christmas fact every time the page loads. It's preloaded. The plugin is preloaded with 40 Christmas facts. And where is it here?
That just sounds like a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun, and that's not the link I was looking for. They had they had a dev site, and I missed the demo site. Anyway, it's kind of neat. It kicks out some interesting Christmas facts about Christmas, and if you don't like the 40 that are there and you're a bit of a coder, I imagine you could go into the code and add your own facts to it for it to spit out and randomly generate too. So
that would be fun.
I thought it was a kind of a cool one to play with and one to just have fun with. And, you could really have fun with it, spit out some unusual facts or just some made-out facts about Christmas and see if anyone even notices. At any rate, go check it out. It's the Random Christmas Fact Widget, and I give it a 5-dragon rating.
All right, next one I have is Spice Post Slider. So for those looking for a beautiful slider to display their posts and blogs with, this is actually a decent little plugin. You need to fiddle around a wee bit with the settings once you're in there, as the sizing is a bit odd at first, but other than that, it's pretty decent. At least I found it to be a bit odd. I had to fiddle with it. It's designed to work with different devices, like iPad or mobile, so if you're always on the move while you're trying to work on things, this might actually be a great option for you, because that's what they made it for, was for mobile and iPad, it seems.
Cool.
I didn't find it overly exciting for a plugin, but I do see the usefulness of it. It's one of those plugins that would be great to keep in your arsenal for I need this right now. This is a good one just to know about until you find a better one eventually down the road. But yeah, I think this is a great one to get if you need. I rate it at 4 dragons.
Cool. All right. The final one I've got for you, yes, more Christmas stuff, or just plain winter, however you want to look at it. It's the WP Snow Effect. And I thought this one was kind of cool. And, just decorate up your site with snowflakes. You know, they do have a pro version, which gives it more effects and more snowflake types to choose from, and they include a snowman in it with the pro version. But on the whole, just the basic video or the basic version of it is what you might like for your website. You just load it up and it just starts snowing on your website to give it that, you know, holiday feel. Anyway, nice, simple, straightforward. Go check it out. It's a WP snow effect, and I give it a 4 dragon rating.
I think I like Panda the most so far for all the effects, for all the winter effects and everything. I think Panda's my favorite so far.
Yeah, I think we covered that one last year.
And a Halloween, because they have Halloween and Christmas together.
Oh, that's
it's
right.
cool.
They have the Halloween and Christmas one. That's right. It was Halloween when we covered it.
Last one I have is Widget Block Builder. So this is a pretty useful one, as there is a lot of talk about the blocks out there right now. It's a plugin for designing and creating your own blocks and then using them. In the free version, you have access to the most basic options, which is great to get started. If you want to keep working with it, you will have to upgrade to the premium version in order to truly express yourself artistically. Very useful. I have a feeling that this newer plugin is going to grow, and I look forward to watching it grow up because it seems pretty on the ball right now.
Cool.
I rate it at 4 dragons.
Very nice. All right. Let's see, what do we got here? Other miscellaneous things. We don't have any customer feedback or questions this week. But we do have a... Yes, we do have a contest. We are giving away a 1-year hosting package valued at $350 from johnoverall.com hosting. And it is a good value, folks. My hosting service is a boutique hosting service. We don't have thousands or hundreds of clients. You know, I keep the servers limited to the number of clients per server so that the resources are not all hogged up and sucked away. Servers are kept in respectable to excellent condition. Actually, they're kept better than that. And it's exactly what you need. It's a great service, and you got 1 more week left to go enter the contest and win that hosting package. You could be the choice winner and end up with having yourself an excellent deal where you can use it yourself to experiment and see if my service is something you would use, or for your clients. Put your client sites on it. Anyway, go check it out. And to enter the contest, simply go to wpplugins.com/contest to enter the contest and win the hosting service package. All right. Let's cover up a few other things. Then we're going to go straight into the Q&A segment. And then we'll close the show out after that. All right. Plugins we covered this week. I covered the Christmas countdown clock, which I gave a 5 to, the random Christmas fact widget, which I gave a 5 to, and the WP snow effect, which I gave a 4 to.
And I covered email verification, which I rated at 4, Spice Post Slider, which I rated at 4, and Wicked Block Builder, which I rated at 4. Wow, I didn't realize they were all 4s.
Yes. Yep, you hit all 4s. Jacks on all of them. All right. A couple of reminders out there. You know, there will be a meetup in the new year. I just haven't determined the date. More information will be coming. If you want to be interviewed on one of the WP Plugins interview shows, simply connect with me at wppluginsa2z.com/interview. And, you know, I think we'll just dive right into...
It's question and answer time.
Amber.
So before I get started, if anybody out there has any questions that they'd like to have answered on here, please send them in to me at amber@wppro.ca. I'll get them in. We'll see if we can stump my dad. Mm-hmm. My first question for you, Dad, is what makes ignored sites so bad?
What makes
Why are they a bad thing?
Because the plugins get aged. They might have flaws in them that are easily hackable. The hackers find new ways in. They'll they'll brute force their way into it. You basically, if you ignore the site, it leaves it open to hacking is what happens. If it wasn't for the fact that it was just open to hacking, it wouldn't matter to ignore a site. I mean, it takes up space on the server, and that's the only other thing it does. It takes up space on the server that might be better used for something else. But the biggest problem is it's open for hacking, and hackers get in there, and in the last few years, most of the time when they hack a site, especially some small site, they're not hacking it for the data, because there's almost no data for them to steal. What they're hacking it for is to use it for black hat SEO techniques, to pharma spam and other things. They're using it to send out spam emails. They basically want to turn your website into a spamming machine of some sort.
Okay.
That's why if you got one that's ignored for too long a period of time, I've got lots of them that I ignore, and I realize and go, oh, I'm not using it, and I just shut them down. And I redirect a domain to another website that it actually is in use. So
Makes sense.
I don't like to leave them there any amount of time once I realize that I'm not doing anything with it. And the problem of being a developer is you get a cool idea, you buy a domain, you start building out a website, suddenly you get work and you completely forget about the cool idea.
Yeah, I've done that a couple times already.
I think all developers are natural ADHD.
We must be.
Which is why most of them smoke pot, because pot causes you to slow down. Or causes the world to feel like it slows down.
Well, if you have ADHD, caffeine does the same thing.
Yeah, well, that's why they're all caffeine addicts too then. All right.
Next question is, what are the top 3 most important questions you ask a prospective client before starting on their website?
Oh. Color scheme? Trying to think now. That one there actually puts me on the spot because I have something set up for that and it's just not there. Color scheme, what they're planning to do with the website, what is their long-term plans with the website? Those are top 3 questions. I mean, there's such a big list of questions when you're developing out a website. Big one.
Well, better way to put it? What would be the first main topic that you would broach with a person who's looking to hire you?
Oh, what are they planning to do with the website?
Okay.
It's like, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to use it for marketing? Are you going to use it to sell products via an e-commerce store? Are you going to use it for a combination of stuff? You're going to use it for creating blog posts? How are you going to use this web? You're going to use it to collect email addresses? What are you going to use the website for? Because there are different styles of websites. There's a plain marketing website for just promotions of stuff. There's websites for creating articles to drive people to buy products elsewhere. There are so many uses for a website. So basically, the biggest thing is when you're sitting down, it's like, what are you planning to do with this website? What are your plans? And then when they give you the short term, go, okay, what are your plans 3-5 years out?
Okay. So then what's the second most important topic that you talk to them about?
I don't know. Color scheme. I don't know. It just evolves.
Okay.
It evolves from there, and I don't have it all in my head at the moment.
Okay, so really it's not really about the top 3 questions or even the top 3 topics. It's about number 1 topic, and then you let it naturally evolve until you get all the information you need to build what you need.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. My last question is, what are the 3 main red flags you watch out for in a prospective client?
Cheapness, and cheapness.
Really?
Sorry, it's like the cheaper they are, the worse of a client they turn out to be.
So cheap as in they're broke, but they're trying to make ends meet, or cheap as in they change their mind 10 times because they think you can do something for less?
Oh, well, that's another major red flag if they change their mind. I'm talking about the people that come to you, you give them their price. So yeah, I charge $125 an hour, and they start balking at it. You just go, well, that's nice. Have a good day. They want it done at like $30 an hour, or $25 an hour, or $50, or maybe cap out at 75 or something. It's like the biggest thing I learned in developing my business was I used to be cheap, and I attracted those exact clients, cheap clients. Mm-hmm. And while I made some money, I wasn't making good money, And what happened was, by the time I figured out the hours I put in with these clients who demand more than they're paying, which is what they all do because they're cheap, and they demand more, I was like making like $5 an hour.
Oh, geez.
In wage. And this is what it works out to be. You got to be careful of those. And then when I raised my rates up to something more value, all of those clients left me, but I gained a whole slew of new clients, which didn't balk at my invoices.
Ooh.
And they suddenly they appreciated my time. And then when I told them what I needed, they got the information I needed. They didn't try to cheat me out. So it's like cheapness is the biggest red flag. As soon as you see that, you know you're in trouble. The other one is you send them you send them information and they say, well, we got a deadline. You say, okay, I need this, this, and this, and their deadline comes and goes, and they haven't provided you with the information.
Mm.
And those clients there are kind of problematic too. What other red flags do I look for in clients? Another red flag is a client coming to you and they're talking about how bad their last developer was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like dating someone and they tell you about how bad their ex was.
Ah.
And it turns
okay.
out it really wasn't their ex. Or if they talk about, well, I've had these several developers and they were just this and this. It's like, yeah, that's a major red flag. It's like dating someone who talks about multiple exes. Well, there's one common denominator in all those multiple exes.
Yeah.
It is you. That's a major red flag. Is when a client comes to you and they start immediately bad mouthing their last developer. I just kind of wait a minute here. Is this really a developer? And what's even worse is I had it one time, it accidentally occurred where I had one did that to me. And when they didn't tell me who it was, but when I looked at the code, I knew the developer because the developer's name was in the code. And I went, yeah, this one's not a problem with the developer. So they are a red flag, not always, but it is a red flag to where it's not a deal killer if they do that, because sometimes there is. I've dealt with asshole developers out there. I've dealt with them in the past.
Oh, the assholes exist everywhere in every industry.
Yeah, they exist. They do exist. So, that's a bad thing. It's you look for things. It's a lot of the same things. If you're going to date somebody, are the same things you look for in a client.
That's actually really good advice. I don't think many people would think about that.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of an interesting thing. And in essence, in reality, when you're trying to get a new client, you are trying to date them, in essence. You're trying to...
you have to woo them.
You have to woo them. You have to get them over to your side. And then you got to build a rapport and build a reputation with them. So it's got the same thing. And the red flags exist because they're all human nature things, is what they are. What you're looking at is human nature here. So.
Oh, can you think of anything that would be a red flag? In regards to, like, say the client themselves seem awesome. Mm-hmm. They seem good enough. They seem like they're someone you could work with. Now, is there any other red flags that you want to keep an eye out for?
Payment schedule.
Payment schedule.
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to bill every time I had hours, but eventually when I started taking on projects, I started billing in thirds, 1/3 up front, 1/3 halfway through, and 1/3 final.
That makes sense.
So
what about the payment schedule is a red flag? Like if they don't pay you on time?
If they don't pay you on time. If it takes, you say, I'm not going to start this project till you get me a deposit, and it takes them 3 weeks to get the deposit in, that's a major red flag.
Okay.
It's like I've got it scheduled to start on this date. I need to deposit 2 or 3 days in advance, so I make sure I have the money. And if they don't pay you on time, that means you're not going to get paid on time the rest of the project. If at all.
If that happens, do you start the project?
I don't start their work. I used to. That's why I learned. I used to start the project and find out that I just run into a freaking problem, but now I don't. I refuse to start the project till I get paid. And if it gets delayed, then I'll ask for 50% of it up front.
Okay, so like if the initial deposit gets delayed, but they do give it to you, you are still willing to do their project.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
still willing to do their project, but when I hit the midpoint and I bill them at that point, if they don't pay me on time there, their projects will get massively delayed, if not incompleted. So
Okay.
yeah.
Also good things to know.
All right. Well, that pretty much covers all that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's our show. A little shorter than usual. Well, not really. It's about the same length. About the
It
same-
feels shorter because we don't have anybody popping in.
Yes, we don't have anybody. We don't have any live chats to deal with on this one. All right.
Yeah, I miss it.
At any rate, what we will do is we will let our girl close us out, and then we'll come back for a moment and have a little music. All right. So let's let our girl take us out.
Reminders for the show. All show notes can be found at wppluginsa2z.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the newsletter for more useful information delivered directly to your inbox. WP Plugins A to Z is a show that offers honest and unbiased reviews of plugins created by developers because you support the show. Help keep the show honest and unbiased by going to wppluginsa2z.com/donate and set the donation level that fits your budget. Help us make the show better for you by subscribing and reviewing the show at Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and in the iTunes Store. You can also leave us a review on our Facebook page using wppluginsa2z.com/Facebook. You can also watch the show live on YouTube, check out the screencasts and training videos, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of all new videos. Follow the show on Twitter at WPPluginsA2Z. John can also be reached at his website, johnoverall.com, or email him directly, john@wppro.ca. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the show. This show is copyright by johnoverall.com. So until next time, have yourselves a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be out there on the globe today.
Alrighty, and for anyone who's made it this far in the show, make sure you like, subscribe, and share the videos. Greatly appreciate it. A little bit of Days of Thunder to carry us on out.
These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. A quarter after midnight, and I'm watching the wall. Sometimes I feel so uptight, I just can't sleep at all. Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes, we gotta have some fun and rewind. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. I feel the rope tightening, choking off our air. We need to grab some lightning. Friday's almost here. Caught in a web, we need to cut this thread. We're hanging by. Where is it said you have to be half dead to survive? These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill.
That's all we got for you now. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Adios, mofo.